That's the first of all, if you trying to sneak around, regardless of what you're doing, why would you come to an open place? He talking about some, what he said, Brandon said something about there is more likely that they run into one of his daughters or his granddaughter's friends or somebody that know them versus somebody that knows Anita. That's the same thing to me. That's the same thing to me. It's like, cause how you know they could easily see you there. Then be like, oh, I saw Vernon with something like with that Sharon later from the articulates or whatever. She had his cufflinks. He was getting his cufflinks from her and everything or something like that. I was like, how long this meeting been going on? Cause she said she hadn't seen him wear them cufflinks in a long time. I said, Vernon, this gonna come back to bite you. This is gonna come back to bite you. But yeah, I said Vernon's sneaking around like he cheating, but they may be working on his singing. I said, look at your heart beating out your chest. When Anita smelled that perfume on him that wasn't hers, I said, yeah, you're in danger. I said, use this as your opportunity. I know you're trying to surprise her or whatever. That's what I'm assuming. I'm not gonna say or believe that they finna sit up here and make him a cheater too. I was like, the whole look, everybody need to exchange partners or something. That's how I know they ain't make the whole doggone cast cheaters. But yeah, what else? Let's see. Derek got him one, y'all. He was kissing her and everything. Her name's Cheryl. She worked at the firehouse too. And they was kissing and everything. I said, I see you, Derek. I said, you got you one already. I said, hi, Ashley. Then he stopped the kissing. They was on the couch and everything. He stopped the kissing. He was like, this is wrong. Because first of all, they in Ashley's place. And I said, I forgot about that. Look, all I saw was him finally moving on from her. I said, bring Cheryl back down the line. Because right now he's still in love with Ashley. But bring her back for him. Bring her back for him. She went for what she wanted and she got it partially. But yeah, I said bring her back now. I hope she gonna be a regular. He needs somebody now. He needs somebody outside of Ashley. But yeah, he was like he's still in love with her and stuff like that. So she ends up leaving because at first she was telling him how he doesn't have to get through this alone. Leslie still trying to do whatever it takes to get Ted, and Eva keep trying to do whatever it takes to save her mama. Smitty tells Kat to take ownership for what she did. Naomi act like Derek is also her friend. Hold on. And the last thing is that Ashley still has sympathy for Derek. But hey, y'all, welcome back to another review of Life Chester for, I would say Tyler Perry or something. This is for Beyond the Gates, November the 13th, 2025, because I didn't upload last night. I said I was going to do it early this morning, but I'm late again. We get what y'all think of the episode. I said, this was a good episode. I said, what? Well, I think it was good. It had certain parts that was interesting. I said it. It had certain parts that I was like, man, I hope today's episode be good too. But yeah, look, what we gonna talk about first? Cause look, it was a lot from Andre to Vernon over here sneaking around. Even them always got something going on. Hold on, y'all. But yeah, on today's new episode, excuse me, I forgot to write their name down. Where'd it go? I got the wrong notes, y'all. Hold on. On today's new episode, we're gonna start with Anita and Nicole. So Anita was taking photos with her fans and stuff like that, including Shanice, and they were just fangirling over her and stuff like that. Nicole walked up and seen them, and she was waiting. She ends up asking her why she was there. She was like she was there for a doctor's appointment, so she tried to avoid answering the question. So I was like, okay, now it's something about to be wrong with her, because she kept asking her what was going on, and she didn't want to tell her. If everything was fine, wouldn't you say that beforehand? So I don't know if they set it up like that so that, you know, down the line they can pursue their storyline or what. But she did end up saying, oh, everything was fine. They said, you know, her blood pressure, all this other stuff was good or whatever they said. I don't know, y'all. I just know they said she was good, allegedly. Allegedly, they said she was okay. Vernon was meeting up with Sharon. This time it wasn't at the hotel. It was at, what's it called, Uptown? It was at Uptown or whatever. So they just sitting there talking and stuff like that. Talking about meeting up. What they said, they was just sitting there talking, and it was a lady back there watching them. And Sharon told Vernon about it, and he was like, that was somebody, so he knew her. And that's when he said something about how it's more likely that they would run into, or he would run into somebody that his grandkids or his daughters knew versus somebody that knew Anita. And I said the same thing. Anybody could tell anything. They'd be like, oh, I seen your husband at Uptown with one of the Articulate members. Yeah, they was real cozy. She was giving him his cufflinks and everything. When Sharon said that she's seen somebody over there or whatever, he wanted her to describe. I said, I hope they ain't talking about that knows the lady that be at the country club or whatever kind of club it is. I said, I hope you ain't talking about her. But when they showed it, it was just that lady back there. He said he knew her or whatever. Cause if that had been, what was her name? What's her name? I think I got it somewhere in these notes. What is that lady name? The one that was talking crazy to Joy until he basically told her that he was the one who had Doug murdered or whatever. That lady. I said, well, it's a good thing it wasn't her, but somehow I think this is gonna come back on Vernon. I think she gonna start to think that he cheating and stuff. She already done smelled the perfume. He been sneaking around on the phone. Wouldn't you think somebody cheating? I said, you setting yourself up for failure. You is. She already was like, she don't like, what she said? I don't like my man coming home smelling like another woman. I said, okay. I said, okay. I said, Brandon, you better tell her now. If you seen somebody seeing you, you better tell them before they go tell her and make it seem like something is not. I mean, I still don't think you're supposed to be meeting up in no hotel rooms and all this other stuff, but okay. But okay, Vernon. But yeah, what else? Let's see. Excuse me. Excuse me. I already said Brandon was meeting up with Sharon. Leslie still trying to get Ted. They had a nice little moment. She always got to ruin stuff, so they might as well get them out the way. So they all sitting down. Ted is talking to Leslie about sports and stuff like that. They just going back and forth. He was shocked that she knew this and that. I said, somehow I don't believe her. I said, I don't know if she being honest or not. I said, she messing up though. Cause wouldn't it be better? I ain't saying he would ever want her like that, because I think Nicole is his person, but at the same time, you never know. You never know. But I say you messing up, because all you gotta do is, be his friend. Like even them was saying, be his friend like he wants, like he was saying to you. Now you want to use that to your advantage, and it's gonna backfire on you, and he gonna find somebody else. He gonna end up finding somebody else. But yeah, they was talking about sports and stuff like that. Just having a conversation. He was like, he's shocked to hear that she knows about sports and all this other stuff. Then they start talking about other things and everything, and he was just shocked to find that stuff out about Leslie. And Jan and Eva just sitting up there looking and stuff like that. Jan ends up saying how she needs to go. Jan was saying she has to go or whatever. So Eva tried to stop her because she wanted her to try to stay to interfere between them. And she told her, this would only work if Ted actually wants Leslie. And if he don't want her, there's nothing she could say or do to make him change his mind. I said, that's true. And she also said something about it has to be a willing participant, meaning Ted sitting up there entertaining it. And I was like, entertaining your daughter and all this other stuff and trying to form a relationship was one thing. This lady who purposely did all this stuff, not to mention tried to murder somebody, is a whole nother different thing. It's a whole nother story, and that's why people be feeling how they be feeling. Eva is one thing, that's your child, literally. Because at this point, she keep trying to do anything to get him, so she may have faked the whole thing in regards to Eva. Because they act different. I said, they act different. I said, I don't know where they going with this, but we'll see. But yeah, what else? Danny. First of all, I'm going to mention something, because I want to know if I'm tripping or not. Danny, where they was at on today's episode, wasn't they there before? I think they was there in that same scene before. Did Danny have on the same, wasn't she in another scene with that on? I was saying, like, I know I ain't tripping. Did I see that on her? Maybe I seen a spoiler photo. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I seen a spoiler photo. But yeah, I just needed to say that. Well, I didn't need to. I just wanted to. But yeah, Danny was saying how she don't think Andre wants to go on the trip, and she was just saying how she knows him well now. So I'm like, okay, she about to get ready to say she don't think he ready for all this stuff. They moving too fast. Something about Ashley and stuff like that. So she ends up mentioning how he, back at the house, he kept saying risk this and risk that. And I was like, she right, because I said the same thing. I said, why keep saying that? Even her parents saw that he said that. And he gonna come up with some lie. I don't believe him. Now, he may be telling the truth, but I don't know. Because y'all know I be suspicious of everybody. But he said that the reason, because she was like, she know him well enough to know something's going up. So something's going up. Something's going up. Something going on or whatever. So she wanted to know what it is. He told myself, oh, well, Pamela stopped by and we had a conversation. She made it clear that basically this was your opportunity. He didn't want to be the one to risk that and cost her second chance and stuff like that. So she ended up encouraging him, saying that he wouldn't have cost her that, and she seen how uncomfortable he was. And they was talking about that, the fact that he's not ready to get in front of the camera. He was saying how he just don't have it. He been behind the scenes, behind the camera a long time, and he knows that he don't have it or whatever. I said, something about this don't sit right with me. I said, I don't think you being honest. It's something in your past. And I said, Bill Minion, I don't forgot that dude's name too. His investigator, his PI, his sneaky dude friend, sneaky dude friend, whoever this man is going to be the one to find out what he lying about. I say, what did I tell y'all every time? Never give nobody no opportunities to one up you. If you know he was lying and cheating and all this other stuff, why would you sit up there and do the same thing? She was telling him how they don't do that. They don't lie to each other. I said, shoot, he lying. He's definitely lying. I don't know if he got into some trouble. Well, that probably would be, public. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's something about that camera he don't want people to see. I think when her parents was talking, they said something about them making it big and everybody knowing them or something coming like that, or them being a celebrity. It was something her parents said, and he made a face. So it's something he don't want nobody to know that he tried to bury. And that dude is gonna be the one to find out what he lying about, what he trying to hide. And Bill's gonna be the one to come tell Danny, just so he could look like a superhero, like he could look like a hero or whatever. But yeah, I was like, he's lying. That's what I got from that whole scene. So they end up saying, despite them not doing the whole photo shoot thing, they can still go on vacation. They start trying to look for places. Then they just agreed to go to LA. That's how that happened with them. Let's see. Smitty and Cat tried to avoid Smitty, but that's when he seen her. They ended up talking about what she did. She was like, it wasn't intentional. She didn't mean for that to happen. She started talking about Tomas and the whole Eva situation. And he said one of the ways that she could fix this or try to fix this or whatever is by taking ownership of what she did or what she said. By taking ownership, then she was like, she got to get up out of there or whatever. And that was it for that. Danny and Andre, we talked about that. Derek, Liam and Cheryl ended up stopping by. They work at the firehouse too. They ended up stopping by to help him move. So they got all the boxes, and that Cheryl lady was like, she gonna stick behind. So she ended up asking how you doing and stuff like that. And she started moving closer. And I said, she want him. Then she moved closer again. And she basically told him he didn't have to get through this alone. So they ended up kissing. I said, right on. I said, that's what I'm talking about, Derek. Going on. They was kissing. Next thing you know, they showed them again. They was on the couch. I said, wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. And then he stopped it. He was like, that's wrong because they're in Ashley's place. And I was like, I forgot. I said, I forgot they was in Ashley's place. And then he's like, he's still in love with her or whatever. And I forgot what else she said to him, but she ended up leaving. I said, go with her. I said, go with her. I said, bring Cheryl back, y'all. If you don't bring Cheryl back, bring somebody for him. I said, bring somebody for him. What else happened? Vernon and Anita, he finally took his tail home. They was talking about how she went to the doctor. Everything was fine. Nicole was trying to make sure of it. And she was like, she smelled perfume on him. And he was like, oh, I ran into whatever her name was and just giving her a life story or whatever. And I said, you know that's going to stick to the back of her mind, right? What they said, what did they call it? Compartmentalization? I don't know what they call it. I don't know why I even attempted to say it. But y'all know, when you have this ability, you sort things out, you store it. You may not address it then, but it's in the back of your mind. And when it's time for it to come to the front of your mind, it's there. That's what's going to happen. Because she's going to be like, he been sneaking around. He been very sneaky. He been sneaking around. Every time he get on the phone, he want to rush off the phone. When I walk into the room, she going to, something in there going to be like, something not right. Or either that lady going to snitch. That lady going to be like, oh, it's good seeing you. Or Anita may reach out to the lady. I don't know. But yeah, I was like, this is gonna come back. Or it could go like they wanted to go, and it'd be a surprise at the Winterfest. It may be a surprise at the Winterfest. He may be about to perform, because even in that scene, she was like, as long as you don't sing again, or whatever. So I was like, yeah. And I think he a singer for real, right? Isn't he a singer for real? What's his real name? Clifton? Is it Clifton or Cliff something? But yeah, I think he a singer for real. He sings for real, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, and the last thing is Nicole and said, well, Eva tried to talk some sense to her mama or whatever and tell her it's plenty of ways she could donate, and Ted would still view her as, nice for doing that and appreciate her for doing it or whatever. She was like, it's more than that. It's about how these people treat her and stuff like that, despite the fact that she getting all this stuff created and everything. And I said, Eva, you're going to have to learn the hard way. Like, if she want to do stupid stuff, you let her do stupid stuff by herself. She going to have to realize it. She doing all this stuff, and they still saying he's supposed to end up pursuing Shanice or whatever. I don't know how true that is. We shall see. And the last thing is Nicole and Ted. Ted wanted to stop by to say he wanted to invite Eva as his +1. And she was like, she okay with that, but she don't think Kat going to be okay with that. And he was like, I thought about that, but she's my daughter. What do you expect? Does she expect? Basically, Kat going to have to get over it. And they saying next week they supposed to actually have a conversation, Kat and Eva do, and they supposed to get into it again. I said, yeah, this done got old now. But I do think that Ted got a blind spot when it comes to Eva. I definitely do. What else? Let's see. Anita said her appointment went good. Nicole keeps asking. I think something gonna come up about that. They trying to make it seem like Sharon and Vernon messing around. Les asked Ted about Winterfest. Mentions he ends up mentioning that it's honoring her mother. And I said, did they tell you to tell her that? I said that. I thought they said they weren't gonna mention nothing to her as of right now. He don't sit up there and told. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything, y'all. Let me make sure. Derek said it's wrong, especially in Ashley's apartment. Ted wants to bring evil. Evil always trying to talk sense to a mama. Yeah, that was it. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces. Have a good rest of the day and be safe.